Good morning, Yasha Allah. My sisters, brothers and sisters in all the diaspora, the people of the scattering into all the earth, according to Luke chapter 21. To you, I come with a word of hope from our King, from the blessed Ruach, who encourages us daily to be faithful unto our King. Our opening text of scripture is this, Yohanan chapter 15, verse 23. Of course, we don't mind if all the world listens in. Listen into the great abduction story. Yohanan 15 and 23. It says, "He who hates me hates my Father as well." I think I want to read that in the King James. Yohanan 15. And verse 23. All right, here we go. He that hateth me hateth my Father also. All right. Let's put this in context. It has been my privilege to have been able to recognize in my life that as a little boy, between the ages of birth and to about 5 years old, between that time, I've been able to recognize that I found myself very uneasy and running away from some beings or spirit, whatever. But these were entities that I could see in the spirit, and I could feel the presence as a hateful presence coming after me, coming behind me, as if to capture me. And I was continually be running. When I felt the intent of the mind of whoever it was coming after me, I find myself continuously running away, not knowing that it was, as I come to know now, the continuous action of Satan, Gabriel, Esau, and the despicable fallen Levite, Haitians, in their voodoo, seeking to capture me for a blood oath covenant that they made with Napoleon. many years ago, before my birth. Well, so in this experience of my life as a little boy, running away from whoever it was that was chasing behind me, eventually I come to find out, as I've been able to put it together, after all, that in the very place of a Masonic home, the Masonic home of my aunt, my mother's sister, she and the warlock of a man that she was in relationship with abducted me from my mother for a what do you call it, a babysitting experiment. This is what my aunt did. A despicable Masonic dog took me into her home, into her house, in the pretense of babysitting me. And the Father has allowed me, in these late years of my life, to find out by revelation that what she did to me on a particular day, 2 weeks after my birth, I was able to see in the vision Satan coming into the home, because as growing up around the family, when I saw the vision offering the view of the home where I was, in the vision, it was the house, the home I knew so well, belonging to my aunt. So that house, that home was standing when I was a baby. And in the second week of my life, under pretense of babysitting me, I saw in a vision Gabriel, Satan coming into the what you call the front room or living room of the house, and asking my aunt to make me a sacrifice unto him. This is the story in my life. And of course, I come to find out that in general, this is the story of Yasha Allah, who were hunted in the Everglades and the other lakes and streams and rivers, particularly with regards to North America, South America, hunted like cattle by Esau, who came with the satanical entourage in that vision of my childhood. Satan, Esau, and Levi. These were the entities that entered into my aunt's Masonic home in the second week of my life, because they had made a covenant between themselves. Without my consent, they made covenant of what they intended to do with me. Without my consent, I'm supposed to be a cattle that they could run around with as they wish. And they did make all effort and all attempts to do so, blindsiding my life, forcing me out of my own desire or my choice of what I wanted to do with my life. I find myself being, pushed somewhere else. I want to do this, and I find myself pushed to go this way or that way and do this thing and the next thing, not realizing the furious, disgusting hatred of Gabriel, Satan, and Esau and Levi together. And their contemplation of making me a human sacrifice to the stinkest, this most despicable entity in the annals of eternity, Satan, a stinking piece of garbage, on me, who loved the Mashiach, that gave himself for us to make us a clean people, a people cleansed by his blood. Satan and Levi, Esau, came as a force to take me captive for their experiment of a human sacrifice. And I grew up in that shadow of these entities around me, with my real parents not understanding what was going on with me because of a satanic aunt committed to the Masonic kingdom of dogs, hogs, despicable garbage in the earth that have been coming around our people and making representation of themselves as some intelligent humans, the ones that look like humans anyhow, representing themselves as guardians of knowledge, while they carry a diabolical plan for destruction of babies. They're baby snatchers, perverts, child molesters. That's what happened to me at 2 weeks old. Esau and Levi coming into the place where I live because of their Masonic affiliation with my aunt. And through the witchcraft conniving, kept me hid away from my parents. I was kept hidden away from my parents all through my childhood and growing up as a young boy into adulthood, growing up abducted by them right before my parents because of the voodoo and the witchcraft. And after all, having come to years and realizing what my people have endured, I recognize that, generally speaking, we have had the same experience to some degree or another. But I was the one that Satan, the stinkness of all the cosmos, set his eyes on. That I should be, I guess, the darkest part of his kingdom. It got to be that way because he is darkness. 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 That's what he is. He operates a kingdom of darkness. Came in force to set up a hedge around my life that my parents could not recognize because they were young. They were in their 20s, young, and trusting to a family, a relationship, and allowed me to be stressed as a child by the likes of Satan, Gabriel, Esau, and the most despicable, Levi, a brother who was given such privilege by the Most High, turned himself into a piece of garbage to assist the kingdom of Satan against his own people. And today is being brought forth because now we understand the 400 years and what it was contained, indeed, what is contained in them that was shown to our forefather Abraham. We get to search the depths of it by the Spirit of our Father, who reveals it to us, what went on in the 400 years enslavement, that we can share to the whole world. We got all this, all these theories about life and about us. About us. They got theories about us. They want to tell us who we are and who we're supposed to be, while they run their racket of slavery and oppression. And indeed seek to corral us into a corner where they could demand of us to produce goods and services for them. They can't do it for themselves. They're helpless creeps. Have been using us. The Father allowed it because of the disobedience and rebellion of our forefathers. He allowed them to have their way with us. And didn't they destroy us gloriously? Oh yeah, it's such a fun to them, to Satan, the king of darkness, the king of despicableness, the stench of the Shamayim that was kicked out because of his ways. Father kicked him out. And the Mashiach said, I beheld Satan like lightning fall from the heavens. That's who was contending for my life, contending for my allegiance. As I was shown in the same vision I'm telling you about, when he came and asked my aunt to make me a sacrifice for him, the Father showed me this fire in my eyes, looking at him with hatred and disgust as a 2-week-old baby. But in all his evilness, I suppose, he would cast his eyes on me as being one with the powers that he possessed, whatever it is. He felt himself able to overpower me, overpower my desire and my willingness to serve the Most High Yahweh. He figured he could turn that into a love for him that he has been contesting all the years of my life, and now has come to full bloom, where I can see the action of Levi, the fallen priesthood of the scriptures, made himself a disgusting piece of garbage to serve Satan with the intent to disturb the gift of salvation that the Most High has offered to save those that come unto him by Mashiach, to receive the cleansing of his blood and be filled with his Ruach. Levi gave himself to that effort. And I shared with you numerous times already in the last year the work of Esau in the Caribbean, and of course the length and breadth of the diaspora, where Levi reigned in the last 200 years of our captivity and has showed himself a king of terror in the Caribbean that I've been sharing with you for this full year now. And it seemed to me that so many have not grasped it yet. The tragic deaths, accidents that Levi was involved with, causing to happen, all the gun slaying in North America and throughout the Caribbean. Levi was behind it, causing all the death and destruction in his complicity with Esau and Satan. And here today, I stand with years multiplied on my head now. I find if I still in his nasty quest, thinking that he could have me to be a faggot behind him. I mean, granted that he felt that way because of integrating himself with the stinkness of Satan. He thought he could force me into being a faggot because he had me surrounded in a cocoon where my family did not recognize what was going on with me. He thought in this cocoon that he would make a faggot of me. But I got news for you. In the will of the Most High, I'm going to make sure that the fire burn you. Fire, unquenchable fire. You piece of garbage. And now, having done your work of terror of 400 years against the tribes, 400 years of terror, you come now with your Esau, with your Satan, with your Haitians, disgusting garbage. Come to integrate yourself with us. After all the damage you have done, you feel it your duty. This is your duty still to integrate yourself with us and continue your destruction. Heaven forbid, the Most High forbid, the Mashiach, our King, forbid that you should have this privilege to integrate and create yourself with us as a part of us. No, the ceiling has come to prevent that and make sure that that does not happen. And with all your efforts, it shall not happen. We shall be the children of our King who died for us, whom you, Esau, hang on a tree and slew him unmercilessly or mercilessly and put it in your records. Yet you come into the fringes of society and show yourself forth and make yourself, you try to make yourself appear to be someone to be looked at as worthy of our attention. You king of destruction, people of wrath, all that damage you have done against the will of the Most High and the 12 tribes, whom you scattered with a gloating satisfaction to oppose the Most High and his salvation for the 12 tribes. You've done it much skill, and hiding of yourselves. Coming into the place where I was and taking me out and make me a sacrificial offering, that my life and my blood was to support the vampire queen of England and her family for all them years, sucking the life and the blood out of me, as you have done with Yasha Allah all through our lives, sucking the blood, sucking the years, suck putts. That's what you've done with me. And I'm here to speak about it because I witnessed it. I saw it with shock and amazement. What happened to me? I'm not giving you no second-hand version. This is what I saw, and this is what I experienced. And I know you to be a people of hatred. Don't come to me laughing up with me. It ain't gonna work. Can't work. I know my Redeemer lives, and at the end, he shall stand upon the earth. I'm with my forefather, Ayub. Yea, Kantokobo. And shy. And so the king says that let me see if I can find the verse so I could quote it to you correctly. Forgive me, please. We find in this verse anyway, since in my excitement, I'm looking all over it and can't get to where I want to be. We find that this love relationship with the Most High and our Mashiach, of course, I can use a replacement verse of scripture. In verse 18 of Yohanan chapter 15, it says, if the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. And haven't we experienced oceans of hatred from Satan and Levi and Esau? This is what we have experienced. Now they come around to touch us up with their nasty hands. We who have been redeemed by the blood of the Mashiach to make us clean and free of the kingdom of darkness and hatred. With all that hate, they come in and pretend to be touching us instead of, addressing us themselves to the issue at hand, that is to give reparations to the 12 tribes and be gone out of our sight. We have no desire to be integrated with you. You have made yourself seem to be hard of hearing. We have no desire to be integrated with you. That Martin Luther King jive is finished. We have no need for it. We know you're not worthy, and we therefore grant unto you your unworthiness to stay away from us. No integration with us. Do the reparations and be gone to your destruction. That's what we desire. And you ain't going to change it. Nor can Satan, the anti-Messiah, mark of the beast. None of that can change it. Tired of your hatred. So, again, here we have it in Yohanan, in verse 13, chapter 15 and 13. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. The Mashiach. The one who has come to inherit the promises made to Abraham, the chief of the promises. He calls us friends. We are his friends. Yes, we are his friends. We hurt our friend in our rebellion. We hurt him deeply in laying down his life. That Edom, Gadriel, and the fallen Levite, who were the priests that took part, an integral part of crucifying him, who we call Haitians today. They were right there doing their despicable act that they solidified in the revolution, in the French Revolution, and they sold themselves to be the anti-Messiah in the administration of the mark of the beast. This is what Levi has done, and come to set himself up in the midst of us as though they are teachers of Torah. Despicable garbage. And we need to recognize our friend, the Most High, and the Mashiach in the Blessed Ruach, who has come to fill our lives. And the response of Esau in his effort to abort the sealing of Revelation chapter 7, if that doesn't show you the intent of the heart of Edom, what will disclose to you that you are dealing with a killer nonstop who wants to make the pretense to have you allowing him to lean on you. Now that he has come to terms in his own self, he realized that he made a mistake that Acts, I believe it's Acts chapter 4, tells us about, that had they known it, had the kings of the earth known it, they would not have crucified our Redeemer. But this is what their God, Satan, told them to do. And they were keen on doing it and have accomplished it. And now come to laugh in our faces to see if they could encourage us to submit to being peed on and defecated upon by them for Satan. I thank the Father that he has shown us his eternal love. And, the Apocrypha shows us that the Father did recognize. And therefore he has chosen us, because he realized that nowhere else in the world could he find love. A love that accepted him and revered him and honored him in the desire to live by Torah. He found it nowhere else but in Yasha'Allah. And he chose us to be the vine that the Mashiach speaks of in Yohanan chapter 15, when he says, I am the vine and ye are the branches. Speaking of that intimacy of love between himself and the 12 tribes. He found love nowhere else. It is written in the scriptures. That's why he made the effort. That's why he put in the work to save the 12 tribes. And therefore, Satan, Edom, and the fallen Levite have contested our relationship with the Most High, because they discovered that he loves us. And they now want to chime in and receive some of that love, the love they denied and made all announcement about, that they did not want. Spies. In the offer of the covenant, we find out that Esau despised it outright. Despicable garbage. Despise offering of love. Despise love. Now you come because you see that love has redeemed us and called us into a covenant of peace, according to the book of Zechariah. So you want the privilege of having destroyed the Mashiach having destroyed us and all 400 years of captivity, you come now to lean on our shoulders and say, forgive me, please, and love me. You fit nothing but heat, eternal fire, and destruction. I want to see it. I wish I could see it happening for you and upon you. That's what you chose. Why are you coming to us now? Give us the reparations that is demanded of you by the Mashiach, and you're going to pay it. That's what you want. And get away from you, your stinkness, your stench. Here the Apocrypha says, O Yahweh that bears rule of every wood of the earth and of all the trees thereof, thou hast chosen thee one vine only. Therefore the Mashiach says in Yohanan chapter 15, I am the vine. This is the vine that Ezra is talking about. Ye are the branches. Except ye abide in me, you can't do nothing. Abide in me, you shall bear much fruit. He is our Mashiach, that in his Father has loved us with an everlasting love. Can't forsake him now. Come too far. I mean, we literally have come too far. We have endured much. Let us endure the rest, whatever it is that he demands of us. Yeah, it's hard. If anyone can say it's hard, I can tell you, it has been hard. It has been rough. Bearing up under an ocean of destruction heaped upon us by Gabriel, Esau, and Levi. We have endured thus far, Yasha Allah. And I am in agreement with you that it has been hard. But we are nearing the end. I encourage you, as I encourage myself, in the Most High, to stand according to Ephesians chapter 6. Be armored up as the battle axe of the Most High. Let's stand. We got to complain along the way. We got to cry, sometimes. But the song that our brother Judah sang, that the Mashiach will fix it. He will fix it by and by. Trouble in my way, says the Dixie Hummingbirds. Trouble in my way. I got to cry sometimes. But the Mashiach will fix it by and by. I encourage you, Yasha Allah, and whoever else in the world have been granted access into this love of which we speak, the eternal love of the Most High, brought to us in the person of our Mashiach, in the blessed Ruach. He comes. Oh yeah, he comes. And who shall abide the day of his coming? We give thanks unto the Most High, our Father, for the privilege that he has granted to us. Though we have been brought to weariness, and in many cases, we have despaired of life under the brutalization of Gabriel and Esau and the fallen priesthood. The fallen priesthood of the 12 tribes, Levi. Let's give ourselves unto prayer, Yasha Allah. Faith, trust in him whom to know is eternal life. Mashiach, our King, our High Priest, who intercedes for us now in the Shamayim. Stay committed, Yasha Allah. Stay focused. Eyes on him. Let that be our watchword. Eyes on him. In the name of the Most High, Yahweh. We bless you.